before we dive into this life-changing information, I'm curious. What time is it where you're watching from? And where exactly are you in the world right now? The reason I'm asking is because this ancient knowledge we're about to explore together operates beyond the boundaries of time and space. And knowing where you are in this moment will help you understand just how perfectly aligned you are to receive this information that's been hidden from humanity for thousands of years. You see, every single moment you choose to seek truth, every second you decide to question what you've been told about reality, you're actually activating dormant codes within your DNA that have been waiting for exactly this moment when you're ready to remember who you really are and what incredible abilities lie sleeping within the very core of your being. You've probably been told that your DNA is just a biological blueprint, a simple instruction manual for building proteins and determining whether you have brown eyes or blue eyes. But what if I told you that's the biggest lie ever perpetuated against humanity? What if I revealed to you that hidden within every single strand of your DNA lies an ancient code? A cosmic library containing the memories, abilities, and wisdom of countless civilizations that came before us, and that this code has been deliberately suppressed by those who understand its true power. Tonight, I'm going to share with you the exact methods that ancient mystery schools used to activate these dormant abilities. Methods that were so powerful they were banned, destroyed, and hidden away because they threatened the very foundation of control that has kept humanity in spiritual slavery for millennia. This isn't just theory or speculation. This is ancient wisdom that has been verified by cutting-edge quantum physics, proven by indigenous shamans who never forgot the old ways, and confirmed by the experiences of thousands of people around the world who have successfully awakened their genetic potential and transformed their lives in ways that seem absolutely miraculous, but are actually as natural as breathing once you understand the true nature of your DNA and how to work with it. The ancient Egyptians knew this secret, which is why their mystery schools were filled with initiates who could perform what we today call miracles. Healing the sick with their hands, communicating with beings from other dimensions, traveling outside their physical bodies to gather information from distant places, and accessing memories from past incarnations with crystal clarity. The Tibetan monks preserve this knowledge in their highest teachings, using specific breathing techniques, sacred sounds, and meditation practices that literally rewrote their genetic code, allowing them to develop supernatural abilities like generating intense body heat in freezing temperatures, levitating during deep meditation, and living for centuries while maintaining the appearance and vitality of much younger men. The Hindu traditions speak of the Akashic records, which aren't some ethereal library floating in space, but rather the quantum information field that your DNA constantly accesses and contributes to, because every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every experience you have gets encoded into your genetic structure and becomes part of the collective human consciousness that shapes reality itself. Even the shamanic traditions of the Americas, from the Mayans to the Aztecs to the indigenous tribes of North America, all possess sophisticated understanding of how to activate genetic potential through sacred plant medicines, vision quests, and ceremonial practices that opened doorways between dimensions and allowed human consciousness to expand beyond the limitations of ordinary perception. But here's what's absolutely mind-blowing. Modern quantum physics has now proven what these ancient traditions always knew: that DNA is not just a physical structure, but a quantum antenna that constantly receives and transmits information across dimensions. Dr. Fritz Albert Popp's groundbreaking research revealed that DNA emits biophotons, literally light particles, that carry information and can influence biological processes at the quantum level, while Dr. Peter Gary Eves' work demonstrated that DNA responds to specific frequencies of sound and light, actually changing its structure when exposed to certain vibrations, which explains why ancient cultures use specific chants, mantras, and sound frequencies in their activation ceremonies. Dr. Bruce Lipton's revolutionary discoveries about epigenetics showed that your environment, thoughts, and beliefs can literally rewrite your genetic expression, turning on beneficial genes while turning off harmful ones, which means you have far more control over your biological destiny than you've been led to believe. And this is just the beginning of what becomes possible when you understand how to consciously work with your genetic code. Quantum field theory tells us that consciousness itself is the fundamental force that shapes reality at the subatomic level. And since your DNA exists within this quantum field, every conscious intention you set, every meditation you practice, and every moment of spiritual awareness you experience actually sends ripples through the quantum field that can activate dormant genetic potentials and awaken abilities that have been sleeping within you since birth. The reason this knowledge has been hidden becomes crystal clear when you understand the implications. If every human being realized that they carry within their DNA the potential for telepathic communication, remote viewing, precognitive abilities, spontaneous healing, and direct communication with higher dimensional consciousness, how could any system of control possibly maintain its power over an awakened humanity? This is why the ancient mystery schools were systematically destroyed, why indigenous shamanic traditions were outlawed and suppressed, why the Library of Alexandria was burned, and why countless spiritual texts and teachings were labeled as heretical and forbidden. Those who understood the true power of activated human DNA knew that an awakened population would never accept limitation, never submit to external authority, and never allow themselves to be controlled by fear-based narratives about scarcity, separation, and powerlessness. So what exactly is this hidden code within your DNA? And how can you begin to activate it starting right now? Tonight, in whatever location you're watching from around the world, your DNA contains what scientists call junk DNA. Sequences that don't appear to code for proteins and were dismissed as evolutionary leftovers. But cutting-edge research is revealing that this so-called junk DNA is actually a vast library of dormant programs, latent abilities, and cosmic memories that can be activated through specific techniques that work directly with consciousness and quantum fields. Think of your DNA like a massive hard drive that comes preloaded with incredible software programs, but most of them are in sleep mode, waiting for the right activation codes to wake them up and begin running their amazing functions. These dormant genetic programs include heightened intuitive abilities that allow you to sense information beyond your physical senses, healing capabilities that can repair damaged tissues and organs through focused intention and energy work, psychic abilities like telepathy and remote viewing that operate through quantum entanglement principles, access to past life memories and experiences that are stored in your genetic matrix, the ability to consciously influence your own aging process and maintain optimal health well into advanced years, direct communication with your higher self and spirit guides through activated DNA receivers, enhanced creativity and problem-solving abilities that tap into universal intelligence, and even the potential for bilocation and out-of-body experiences that ancient traditions considered normal aspects of advanced spiritual development. The first key to activating these dormant abilities lies in understanding that your DNA is not fixed or static, but rather a dynamic, responsive system that changes based on your thoughts, emotions, environment, and spiritual practices. And the most powerful activation method used by ancient traditions involves specific breathing techniques that literally oxygenate your cells, while creating electromagnetic fields around your body that enhance genetic expression and open doorways to higher consciousness. The Tibetan practice of tummo breathing, which involves specific patterns of inhalation, retention, and exhalation combined with visualization of inner fire, has been scientifically proven to increase core body temperature, activate dormant neural pathways, and create measurable changes in brainwave patterns that correspond to enhanced psychic abilities and spiritual perception. The pranayama techniques of ancient India work with the same principles, using controlled breathing to move life force energy through specific channels in the body, clearing blockages that prevent optimal DNA function, and creating the energetic conditions necessary for genetic activation and the awakening of latent abilities. Even the simple practice of conscious breathing, inhaling with awareness and intention while visualizing golden light entering your cells and activating your genetic potential, can begin to create immediate changes in your DNA expression, especially when combined with specific affirmations and intentions that speak directly to your genetic intelligence and command it to awaken its full potential. The second crucial element in DNA activation involves understanding the power of sound and vibration, because your genetic material is literally designed to respond to specific frequencies that can unlock dormant codes and activate new capacities within your cellular structure. Ancient civilizations knew this secret, which is why they developed sophisticated systems of sacred sounds, chants, and tonal frequencies that were specifically designed to resonate with DNA and trigger genetic activation. The Sanskrit mantra Om isn't just a spiritual sound. It's a precise frequency that creates resonance with the quantum field and activates genetic programs related to expanded consciousness and spiritual awakening. While the Tibetan singing bowls and crystal bowls used in healing ceremonies generate specific harmonic overtones that literally restructure DNA and activate dormant abilities related to healing, intuition, and psychic perception. The solfeggio frequencies, which were hidden away by the Catholic Church but have been rediscovered by modern researchers, include 528 Hz, known as the love frequency, that repairs DNA damage and activates genetic potential, 741 Hz, which clears toxins from cells and awakens intuitive abilities, and 963 Hz, which connects you to higher dimensional consciousness and activates your spiritual DNA. And you can use these frequencies during meditation, sleep, or any time you want to enhance your genetic activation process. Even humming, chanting, or toning with conscious intention creates vibrations within your body that massage your cells, stimulate your DNA, and begin to awaken dormant potentials that have been waiting for exactly this kind of vibrational activation. The third fundamental aspect of genetic activation involves working with the sacred geometry and light codes that are embedded within your DNA structure. Because your genetic material is actually constructed according to mathematical principles that connect you directly to the cosmic order and universal intelligence. The double helix structure of DNA isn't random. It's based on the golden ratio and Fibonacci sequences that appear throughout nature and the cosmos, which means your DNA is literally built to resonate with universal patterns of creation and consciousness. Ancient mystery schools understood this connection, which is why they use sacred geometric symbols, light visualizations, and specific meditation techniques that work with these mathematical principles to activate genetic potential and awaken dormant abilities. You can begin working with these light codes by visualizing brilliant golden or crystalline light entering the top of your head and traveling down through every cell in your body. Imagining this light activating specific genetic sequences while commanding your DNA to remember its full potential, and activate all dormant abilities for the highest good. And as you continue this practice, you'll begin to notice enhanced intuition, increased psychic sensitivity, improved healing abilities, and a deeper connection to your spiritual nature and higher purpose. The fourth essential component of DNA activation involves understanding how your emotions and beliefs directly influence genetic expression. Because every thought you think and every feeling you experience sends chemical and electromagnetic signals to your DNA that either activate beneficial genetic programs or suppress your natural abilities and keep you operating at a fraction of your potential. This is where the ancient concept of emotional mastery becomes absolutely crucial for genetic activation. Because when you learn to maintain high vibrational emotional states like love, gratitude, compassion, and joy, you create the optimal internal environment for DNA activation and the awakening of dormant abilities. The HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive research showing that coherent heart rhythms, which occur when you feel genuine love, appreciation, or compassion, create measurable changes in DNA expression, enhance immune function, improve intuitive abilities, and increase your capacity for spiritual perception and psychic abilities. When you combine specific emotional states with conscious intention and direct communication with your DNA, you can literally command your genetic material to activate specific abilities, heal damaged sequences, and express its highest potential. Try this powerful technique tonight. Place your hands over your heart, breathe deeply and slowly, and generate feelings of profound love and gratitude while speaking directly to your DNA, saying something like, "I command all beneficial genetic codes to activate now. I awaken all dormant abilities for healing, intuition, and spiritual growth. I remember my true nature and unlimited potential," and continue this process while maintaining the high vibrational emotional state. Because this combination of conscious intention, loving emotion, and direct DNA communication creates the perfect conditions for genetic activation and the awakening of abilities you may not have accessed since childhood. The fifth crucial aspect of genetic activation involves working with what the ancients called the crystalline DNA, the light-based genetic material that exists parallel to your physical DNA and contains the blueprints for your spiritual abilities, multidimensional awareness, and connection to cosmic consciousness. This crystalline DNA responds to different activation methods than your physical genetic material, requiring specific practices that work with light, intention, and higher vibrational consciousness to awaken its incredible potential. The ancient Atlantean and Lemurian civilizations understood this dual DNA system, which is why their spiritual technologies focused on working with crystal consciousness, light-based healing methods, and practices that could activate both the physical and etheric aspects of human genetic potential simultaneously. You can begin activating your crystalline DNA through practices like crystal meditation, placing specific stones like clear quartz, amethyst, or moldavite on your body while setting intentions for genetic activation. Sunlight meditation, allowing natural sunlight to enter your cells while visualizing it activating your light-based genetic codes, and working with the energy of sacred sites and power spots on Earth, where the electromagnetic fields naturally enhance genetic activation and spiritual awakening. Now, let's explore the specific signs and symptoms that indicate your genetic activation process is beginning to work. Because as these dormant codes start to awaken within your cellular structure, you'll experience distinctive changes in your perception, abilities, and overall life experience that confirm this ancient knowledge is not just theory but practical reality. The first signs of genetic activation often include dramatic changes in your sleep patterns and dream experiences, because activated DNA enhances your ability to access higher dimensional information and communicate with non-physical beings during altered states of consciousness. So you may find yourself remembering vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life, having prophetic dreams that later manifest in physical reality, experiencing lucid dreams where you can consciously control and explore non-physical dimensions, or even having out-of-body experiences where your consciousness travels to distant locations and gathers information that you can later verify. Your intuitive abilities will begin to strengthen significantly, manifesting as sudden knowing about future events, sensing the thoughts and emotions of others without any verbal communication, receiving guidance and insights that seem to come from beyond your normal thinking mind, or having strong gut feelings that always turn out to be accurate when you learn to trust and follow them. Many people undergoing genetic activation also experience enhanced sensitivity to energy fields, electromagnetic frequencies, and the emotions of others, which can initially feel overwhelming, but actually indicates that your DNA is developing new sensory capacities that were dormant before this activation process began. Physical changes are also common during genetic activation, including shifts in your metabolism and energy levels as your cells learn to utilize higher vibrational nutrition and life force energy more efficiently. Changes in your dietary preferences as your body naturally gravitates toward foods that support genetic activation and spiritual development. Increased sensitivity to chemicals, toxins, and processed foods as your enhanced DNA becomes more selective about what it allows into your cellular environment, and improvements in your natural healing abilities as activated genetic codes enhance your immune system and repair mechanisms. Your electromagnetic field will also expand and strengthen during this process, which may cause electronic devices to malfunction around you, light bulbs to flicker or burn out frequently, watches and clocks to stop working or run fast when you wear them, and other sensitive people to feel drawn to your energy field because of its increased vibrancy and coherence. The ancient mystery schools developed specific practices to accelerate and enhance the genetic activation process, and you can begin using these powerful techniques immediately to awaken your own dormant abilities and connect with your unlimited potential. The Egyptian mystery schools used a practice called solar charging, which involves standing naked in direct sunlight during specific times of day while performing breathing exercises and visualizing golden light entering every cell of the body, activating genetic codes, and awakening spiritual abilities. You can modify this practice by spending time in natural sunlight, even clothed, while breathing consciously and visualizing solar energy activating your DNA for healing, intuition, and spiritual development. The Greek mystery schools developed techniques using sacred geometry and mathematical principles to activate genetic potential, including meditation on specific geometric forms, visualization of sacred symbols like the Platonic solids, and practices that aligned consciousness with universal mathematical principles. You can work with these methods by meditating on sacred geometric patterns, drawing or coloring geometric designs while setting intentions for genetic activation, or visualizing perfect geometric forms surrounding and penetrating your body, while commanding your DNA to activate its highest potential. The Tibetan mystery schools created sophisticated practices combining breath, sound, movement, and visualization to activate genetic codes and develop supernatural abilities, including the famous rainbow body achievement where advanced practitioners could literally transform their physical bodies into light energy. While this level of mastery requires years of dedicated practice, You can begin working with simplified versions of these techniques through conscious breathing, toning or chanting, gentle movement that flows with your breath, and visualization of your body filled with radiant light that activates every strand of your genetic material. One of the most powerful genetic activation techniques involves working with what the ancients called genetic keys, specific words, sounds, symbols, or intentions that act like passwords to unlock dormant genetic programs and awaken latent abilities within your cellular structure. These genetic keys work because your DNA contains what modern scientists call regulatory sequences that control when specific genes are expressed. And consciousness can directly influence these regulatory mechanisms through focused intention, specific vibrations, and symbolic activation codes. You can create your own genetic activation keys by identifying specific abilities you want to develop, such as enhanced healing, increased intuition, or stronger psychic perception, and then creating affirmations or commands that speak directly to your DNA using present tense, positive language that assumes the ability is already activated and functioning. For example, you might use commands like, "My DNA now activates all genetic codes for healing and regeneration," or "I command my genetic material to awaken all dormant psychic abilities," or "My crystalline DNA now expresses its full potential for spiritual awareness and cosmic connection." And the key is to speak these commands with absolute conviction and authority, while visualizing your DNA responding immediately to your conscious direction. As we reach the culmination of this profound exploration into the hidden potentials of your genetic inheritance, it's essential to understand that genetic activation is not a destination, but an ongoing journey of remembering, awakening, and embodying more of your unlimited nature in every moment of your existence. The techniques, insights, and practices we've shared tonight are not just fascinating information to contemplate intellectually, but practical tools that require consistent application and dedicated practice to produce the life-changing results that are your birthright as a conscious being with activated DNA. Every moment you choose to breathe consciously, every time you speak directly to your genetic material with loving authority, every occasion you align your thoughts and emotions with your highest potential, and every instance you trust the subtle guidance and expanded abilities that emerge from your activated DNA, you are participating in the greatest adventure possible, the remembering of who you really are, and the conscious evolution of human consciousness. Remember that you are not just an individual seeking personal transformation, but a vital part of the collective awakening of human consciousness that is happening right now on our planet. And every moment you spend activating your genetic potential contributes to the larger evolutionary shift that is lifting all of humanity into higher dimensions of awareness, ability, and spiritual connection. Tonight, as you prepare to integrate everything we've explored together, take a moment to honor the incredible journey you've embarked upon by simply choosing to seek this hidden knowledge and open your heart and mind to possibilities that most of humanity has forgotten. You are already different than you were when we began this exploration, because consciousness that has been exposed to truth can never fully return to limitation, and the seeds of genetic activation that have been planted in your awareness tonight will continue to grow and flourish as you apply these teachings and trust the magnificent process of awakening that is now unfolding within every cell of your being.